Hi, I'm Charlie from CookingSecretsForMen.com, and we're here with another installment of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders, and I'm very pleased to have as my guest today, Marjorie Rucker. Marjorie?
Hello.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Beautiful day here in Milwaukee. It's Festa Italiana.
Yes.
And since I'm Italian, they're missing me right now, so I want to make sure that we get over there. I'm spending millions of dollars at Festa. So you're the executive director at the Business Council.
Yes.
And so we'll talk about the Business Council in a little bit. First, I wanted to go over your background. So talk about where you were born, raised, and your formative years leading up to college.
Okay. So I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and then I moved here when I was 1. So my grandmother actually took me on, and so she brought me up here. This is where she was living, and I grew up with my grandparents. So I went to MPS. I'm proud MPS alumni. Went to Riverside. So for all of those that, know, we have the high school wars, right? Riverside is still the best. Go Tigers. And then I went right to college. I graduated from Mount Mary University. It was college at that time. And then right after that, I went to law school.
Okay. So that's what I did want to talk a little bit about your college years. You went to Marymount, you got a BA
in history.
BA in history.
Yes.
And then you did go to law school at Vermont Law and graduate school in South Royalton, as we just talked about.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your education and how that kind of set the stage for the focus that you had in your work career.
Yeah. So when I was growing up in my formative years, I always wanted to be an attorney, and it was just, really making impacts, right? Wanting to change my community, not necessarily, I'm not going to say for the better, but just wanting to impact change. And, as I've gotten older, I've understood that, I use it to affect policy change, which is the most important, but I've always wanted to be an attorney. So that's why my trajectory was I was bent on doing that. And then when I got into law school during my first year, I was like, I don't think I want to practice law, right? I'm looking at my colleagues, and they're running around right in the law library and whatnot. I'm like, I really don't think I want to do this. So I went and talked to my counselor at the time and said, hey, are there other paths for me to take? Like, I want to finish my JD, but what are some other paths that I can take? Because I'm not really looking at taking the bar and whatnot. So she said, you're a little early. And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, most of your peers will burn out in about 5 to 10 years, and then they'll take another path as well. And she said, but there's a lot that you can do with your law degree. Right. So she encouraged me to, just go out and try to find something that I wanted to do. And so I graduated from law school in 2003. I came back home, and I was looking around. I was, of course, looking for employment. I wasn't looking for legal employment, right, because I wasn't barring in. And so I said, well, what do I want to do? And I happened to stumble across community and economic development. I worked at the time for a small firm called Heartland Information Research.
In Heartland?
No, they were actually here in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Don and Kate Hill, who are very respected in the business community, but they had a consulting firm at that time. And what they would do is they would do research studies, feasibility studies, and whatnot for different businesses, municipalities, etc. So they were actually working on a study with the city of Milwaukee, or for the city of Milwaukee, in which they were looking at businesses that had failed and trying to figure out why, and what the city could do to make sure.
And what's the time frame here?
This was 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, 2004. And they were trying to figure out what's going on. Why are these businesses failing? Where's the support system? How is that ecosystem working?
Right.
So did that for a few months, and then I'm looking at what I was making. I was a temp at the time, right? So I'm like, my student loans are coming due, right? They were knocking on the door, and I was like, I need to find something else. So they actually connected me to the Urban Economic Development Association, which is a nonprofit here in Milwaukee that provides technical assistance to other nonprofits. So if there is a nonprofit that is struggling, UEDA is what we call it, because we love acronyms here in Wisconsin, right? But UEDA is actually an entity that like the city or somebody else could call upon and say, hey, can you help this nonprofit to do whatever it needs to do to stabilize themselves so that they can grow and continue the great work that they're doing in the community. So I transitioned into that role in it was 2005, and worked there for about a year. And then I started working for an organization at the time called Community Development Advocates, which was charged with operating the King Drive Business Improvement District. So the King Drive Business Improvement District at that time was like the up and coming. A lot of investment had been going on for probably about 10 years, but there was a lot more that we knew needed to be done. But, spent my career there for, I want to say 7 or 8 years implementing the Main Street model, which is a model that the King Drive bid still implements to this day, and then transitioned over to LISC, the Local Initiative Support Corp.
Well, I did want to... LISC is a community development nonprofit organization I'm very familiar with, and one of the reasons I am is because my wife Ellen, who's sitting out there, worked for LISC, and the beginning of her career worked for LISC. How's that better?
Yes.
And my son Luke also worked at LISC, I think, relatively the same time. He was a summer intern.
Okay.
Somewhere in 12, 13, 14, I can't remember.
I feel like I worked with Luke.
Well,
See, I did not know that was your son.
That was my son, yes.
I was still kind to him though, right, Luke? I was still kind, but yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we had two family members that worked at LISC, and I think Ellen would say that LISC was one of the formative parts of her career in community development, where she is at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation right now. So how did those opportunities, those nonprofits in community development, set the stage for working at the Business Council?
Yeah, so the thing about community development is this. It's really like community and economic development, meaning that they go hand in hand to make the things that we do better, to make our city better, right? That impact. So I will say that my time at the bid and transitioning to LISC, which is an intermediary, meaning that they pull resources and then distribute them, to the community to make sure that they have what they need. Working at the bid showed me what the issues were. Going to LISC showed me how we can best support the things that are happening that are good and positive in the community. And then, transitioning to the Business Council, it took me a few years to really connect all of that experience. But when I got there, I was like, aha, I get it. This is like the pinnacle, like the other side, right? That I wasn't working in at my time at the bid and then at LISC that I'm currently doing now.
So let's talk about the Business Council. So you're the executive director there.
Yes.
You've been there about 9 years or
Yeah,
so?
10 years.
10 years.
It's been 10 years. I looked at my anniversary date. I was like, wow, I've been sitting here for 10 years.
10 years, there you go.
Yeah.
So, and then during your time there, in 2020, you were on the list of the 51 most influential black leaders in Wisconsin. Great list to be on. So talk about your experience there at the Business Council and its mission in the community.
Yeah, so the Business Council is a very niche type of entity. And when I say that, I mean our role in community and economic development is very small but very impactful. We focus on existing businesses, so businesses that are stable, but that want to grow in supply chain work, whether that is like, working with a large corporation, working with the state, the city, or another business, right, that might be a little bit larger than they are. So, the businesses that we work with are not what we call startups, like they're usually, existing, but they are businesses that we work with and get them scaled into that growth. So that is what we do at the Business Council and what we've done for 25 years. That's how we started. We're still, here today. So, our mission is pretty simple, taking existing businesses that are ready and want to grow in supply chains and helping them to do that. It's very strategic work, meaning that, it's not like you're going to see me on social media all the time talking about the great work that we do, right? But we are behind the scenes, understanding how a business, a larger business, is doing what we call procurement. How are they buying their goods and services? What does their supply chain look like? What do they want it to look like as far as diversity of vendor? And when I say diversity, I don't just mean, racial, gender, and whatnot. I also mean like what products and services, right, industries are they looking to build upon? Because our goal is to create a win-win situation for both the large supplier and the business that is a part of our membership.
So your point about not being on social media is very germane here, because I've working with supplier diversity councils around the country when I was back in my youth, when I was a recruiter. But their job is to help line you up with businesses, and that you don't snap your fingers and say, "Hey, I want some work." It's, "Oh, can I do this?"
Yeah.
No, it's a process that you have to go through. You have to fill out applications. You have to meet people. So that's a great point, that you're not going to be on social media trumpeting the kind of work you've done, but it is behind the scenes. So most of the companies that you work with are small, disadvantaged companies, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's helping to grow the smaller businesses. And I think we had Nelson Soler here a couple weeks ago, and he's similar, helping start businesses, get going. So there's a lot of work trying to help small businesses prosper here in the Milwaukee area. So. And you guys do great work, so I appreciate that. Now, talk a little bit about your family.
Yeah, so I looked at that question. I was like, man, so all of my parents and grandparents are deceased, but I do have relatives, obviously down in Georgia, where I'm from, where I was born, and then also we do have a small, small amount of family here in Milwaukee. So I do a lot of commuting back and forth, but I do have a parrot. So she is my feathered kid.
And what's the parrot's name?
Fiona.
Fiona,
yes,
okay.
And we call her Fifi for short. So everybody that works with me or that may have been on a virtual call over COVID probably knows Fifi, because she would make appearances when she felt like it, or she would be.
Does Fifi run wild when you're on Zoom calls?
She does not. Sometimes when she wants to be included, she will scream. She'll make herself known because she wants to say hi. But that is my family, or who I'm responsible for immediately.
Good. Well, I'm sure Fifi will enjoy this interview, so we're looking for it. All right, so we call this serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. So we're going to have a little fun today. So what are we preparing today?
We are preparing a strawberry field salad. So I'll tell you this, Charlie, people do not know me for my cooking skills. They know me to be bright and intelligent and, contributing, but they do not know me for my cooking skills. So I keep my cooking very simple and light because I'm not somebody to stand in the kitchen a long time. So I love salads, and strawberry fields is my favorite. So that's what we're going to be doing today.
Well, most people cook that way. The gourmet cooks, they're off writing cookbooks, but most people, they want to put something on the table in a quick amount of time. They don't spend a lot of money on a Tuesday night, and that's how people cook. So you're right in with everybody else.
Thank you for making me feel good. A lot of people try to make me feel bad about that, and I'm like, hey, I can't.
So we've done a little prep work. We're going to go back. We got a couple things that we're actually going to cook, kind of, and then we're going to put the salad together, and I guess we have to eat it.
Nice.
Okay, great. All right, give us a minute. We'll be right back. All right, well, Marjorie, take it away.
Okay, all right. So we have our butter, which we have melted, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some honey. And it looks like from my nice little cheat sheet here, it's about 2 tablespoons.
All right.
See, I might not cook, but I know how to read measuring cups. I was good at that. I'm an excellent baker, by the way, everybody. That's my superpower.
I'm a terrible baker.
Are you?
I don't like to measure.
Oh, yeah. That's why you're an awesome cook. Yeah, that's why you're an awesome cook, though.
All right, so we got butter and honey.
Yep.
And we're going to pour in the pecans in there.
Okay.
And we've got the oven roasting to 300.
300. Okay.
350.
350, yeah. And look, this is a treat, guys, because I normally, don't roast my own pecans. So I'm super excited about this.
All right, so roll them around, and then we'll just spread them out on the steel pad, and we've got our oven. So and while we roast the pecans, we're going to make a little strawberry vinaigrette. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So we're going to get about 5 minutes to go. All right, so let's move over here and do the vinaigrette. So it's pretty simple.
Yes. So we have a couple strawberries.
And you just throw them all in.
All right.
They're quartered, but then they're going to get all messed up.
They're going to get all smushed.
That's right. So
but you got a couple strawberries. And then olive oil.
There's olive oil.
There it is. There she is. Yeah, look, guys. Like you gotta love it. All right. So 2 tablespoons.
Is that a tablespoon?
Yeah,
there you go.
okay.
All right.
Look, so efficient, Charlie. I tell you. Well, I get spoiled over here. Okay.
All right. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
Yep.
We know how to pour.
Right. Follow the directions, people. Follow the directions.
All right. So we got the olive oil, and now it's 1 balsamic, right?
Yep. 1. You know, I would have stayed doing that for like 30 seconds before I figured it out, right?
Got some balsamic, and we're gonna have the same amount of honey, and I'm gonna help out and get some brown sugar
Okay.
out of here.
Okay.
See, I gotta do something.
You got to do something. That's right. It's okay. Okay. And we pack that down. So you got it.
There we go.
Okay.
There's a little tablespoon of brown
Perfect.
sugar.
All right.
Throw that in.
Great. Okay. Do we want salt and pepper to taste?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
There's a little salt cellar.
Salt. Oh wow! Look at this, guys. Oh my God, this kitchen is like state of the
I
art.
use a lot of salt in our house.
I love it. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we put the lid back on.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna blend this,
All right.
and we got about 2 minutes left on the pecans. So
Yeah. I think we're
there
good.
we go.
All right.
And we'll pour that in a little cruet here, and then we'll use that to serve.
Nice. All right.
So we'll.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you for moving that. I was like, hey, what's going on? You know, I mean, I didn't tell a story. Like, you know, people that know me know I don't know my way around the kitchen very well.
Seem to do it okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you use that towel to?
Yep. To pull out the.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Smelling good.
It does smell great. And they are roasted.
There we go.
Just gotta sit for a minute.
All right.
Okay.
There we go. There's her rest. So, give us a minute. We're going to move down to the other side, and we'll let these pecans cool for a little bit, and we'll put our salad together.
Right.
All right. As I usually do, I forget to give the guest an apron, so I'd get her clothes all dirty. Of course, she's already done the cooking part with honey and all kinds of stuff that, you know. She's been very good about not dripping anything yet. So,
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to put the salad together.
Yes.
So, Marjorie, just take it away here.
Okay. All right. So you can do this in one of 2 ways. I'm going to do this what we call family style, right? Because we'll be putting it into our bowls. But you can section your salad off into, you know, the bowls you're going to eat in if you have a lot of guests. But I always like to do it this way just because it feels like home, right? And family. So you just take all of your greens, and you can use whatever greens that you want. We have mixed greens here, but you can use spinach, you can use a mixed, whatever you want.
Sure. All right, we layer the salad.
Yes, so you can layer, and yes, and I will layer it. That is a great suggestion. So now we can do, and I know that, you know, these are for serving the salad, but I just wanted to use those because it was a little easy. And then we put our chicken on, and you just layer it. So you can see we have chicken, which I'm putting on now. We have bacon bits, and I'll normally put those on last with the cheese. We have the onions here. Man, Charlie, so he was back here slicing and dicing, you guys. These red onions are gonna serve me well throughout the day when I want people to stay 6 feet away, right? But no, seriously, red onions are excellent for you and your health, and I love them, which is one of the reasons why I love this salad. And then I put on the strawberries. Okay. So we made a strawberry vinaigrette, and kind of do this based on your liking. Okay, we eat good over here, right?
Absolutely.
Apparently, right? Because, you know, Charlie is that guy. So we're gonna make sure that we give him, you know, good flavor and whatnot, as well as myself. Because if you know me, you know that I'm not shy about eating anything. That's good. And then just put a little blue cheese on. Okay, and I'm just gonna use another.
All right, so you got some little crumbled blue cheese.
Yeah.
And you can use gorgonzola or any other,
Yes.
what we call stinky cheese.
That's right. Anything stinky, it tastes great on this salad. It's a great blend with the strawberries and the vinaigrette.
All right.
And then our pecans. So
These are the ones we just roasted.
these are the ones we just roasted. So we can just put it over. And then, of course, you can leave out, everything for your guests so that if they want to put more of something, they can. And then we have our little bacon bits. And I'm just going to stick my finger in here.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
I wash my hands, guys. I promise.
So if you wanted to make this vegetarian, you just leave off the chicken and the
Yes.
bacon bits,
And
but it'll work just fine.
That's correct. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it. So that is a strawberry-filled salad.
Let's see.
Very proud of this, Charlie. This is awesome.
That looks great.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I guess there's nothing left to do but
Nope. But eat it.
we got to eat it.
We gotta eat it.
So we'll be right back. We're gonna move over to the table and
Yep.
we'll see how it tastes.
All right.
All right, here we are. We have our strawberry field salad. So Marjorie, why don't you
Yes.
tell us what we got here?
Yes, so we have our strawberry fields. We have our mixed greens. It has chicken, bacon bits, red onions, strawberries, and pecans, roasted pecans on it. And then we are about to insert our homemade strawberry vinaigrette dressing.
And we also have
Oh, and yes, our
extra
stinky
bowls
cheese.
of everything,
Yes.
just
Here.
in case, like, there's no such thing as too much bacon, so
No.
I might have to have
Yeah, absolutely.
little mix
Absolutely.
right here.
Yes.
because I'm a dainty eater.
You're dainty.
All right, a little strawberry vinaigrette.
Yes. And of course water, because we drink water and,
No. All right.
wash it all down.
Now get them on that.
Right? Yes.
All right. All righty. Let's dig in.
Yes. All right. So you're the taste tester. How did I do?
I think a vinaigrette is great if you can taste the balsamic. Not overpowering, but it's there. The chicken, I used let me get it. Wait a second. Cooked the chicken. This is my sister's blend. My sister Ann called Italian spice blend. So I use all this. It's a good one. But as I was eating the chicken, I remembered, ooh, that's why it tastes so good. And I need to get some pecans here too. Delicious. Very simple. For the chicken, you can use a rotisserie chicken. You can use there's prepackaged sliced grilled chicken in every grocery store. Pecans you don't have to roast. We just decided to. We're going to, and you don't have to make a vinaigrette. You can. There's plenty of store bought, but fresh is always better.
Fresh is always better.
All right, Marjorie, this is great. And
Thank you.
this is my breakfast.
Mine too. Yeah. That's what I was looking forward to.
I don't want to eat too much because I have to get a festa and stuff my face over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw it setting up and like all of the great, vendors are down there. So, yeah. It's going to be an awesome time in Milwaukee.
They're not serving strawberry field salad at festa.
No, they are definitely not serving.
So we
it.
have to kind of finish this. So That's all the flavors together work.
A good appetizer.
Well, some people might think this is a meal, but maybe for for us,
Yeah,
it's an
for
appetizer.
us it's an appetizer. Yeah. I mean, it's a small bowl, guys. Like,
Yeah,
come
teeny.
on. Yeah, it's a teeny bowl. It's a starter.
So Marjorie, thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. Charlie, thank you for having me.
I didn't mean to make you talk with your mouth full. So, I'll have the link for the Business Council down in the description box, so please check out the Business Council. Check out some of our other videos for cooking with community leaders. We try to have people who are trying to make our city a better place in to tell us about their work in the community, and then cook me a good meal to eat,
Yes.
which is what I appreciate. I appreciate both. I really appreciate
Yes.
the work in the community that's being done, but it's hard not to appreciate
A good meal.
a good meal. So.
Exactly.
All right. So appreciate everyone's support. Please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.